But back on the food story, you'd be like, yeah, ices are awesome. I would much rather choose to have my dessert literally as I'm eating my food. Yeah. As a kid, you don't know that's dessert, but it definitely is. But you're just like, yeah, give me it. And the piece de resistance with the ices back in the day, they don't really do it now, is having the vanilla swirl when they're just like, here's the vanilla Coke icy, where you're just like, here's the vanilla like cream that you mix together. Oh my gosh, it's the best. I love that. I still love it if they did it more regularly, but they don't really now. But it's just top tier. That is the best way to do an icy every time. And I will always love it. I guess, well, all right, Taco Bell still does it now and again as like a limited time thing where they're like, here's your Baja Blast, like Freezy, and it has the vanilla in it or like their mango. And you're like, yeah, all right, cool. That's a way to win my heart. But then McDonald's like lost their rights to do that. And then Burger King like lost the brand of icy, but they still kind of do the frozen Coke. Your gosh, stink trail, you. But they do their own off-brand thing now. These hands are very grabby. Don't grab me, please. Woo! I just want to get through. So they have their own off-brand icy now. But I'd still get it. Or like, you see it at stores. And every now and again where I'm like, I can go for a dessert as I'm driving back. I'll get it. Because the portableness is like the Dippin' Dots. You know, those things are so small, so easy to take with you. And it's like, heck yeah, I really would like this right now. Small jump. Okay. That worked out very well. Oh. All right, there we go. Let me get my bearings as I land on some of this. Oh, but I will break some hearts since I'm talking about good old McD and BK. I don't really go there anymore. It's like, maybe call me old, but, oh yeah, this is the little slips. I don't need bananas. I have like 70-something lives. I'm doing okay. I don't really go to either of those anymore. It's like, maybe it's just the fact that, you know, that's the childhood fast food chain. And it's something I remember having a lot. Whoa! Alright, did not intend for that. Will you respawn? You gotta respawn, right? Okay. Let's not, dink that up twice. No, Funky, no! But, like, you just have it so much as a kid. Nope! Okay. Oops. My bad. So you have this a lot as a kid. And just, like, when you become an adult, and you can now just, like, buy your own food. Like, it's not just thrown in front of you. You have full choice of everything else. And you start trying other restaurants and chains and stuff. Especially local things. It's just like, man. This just isn't doing it for me anymore. Like, I just can't. Like, you pick it up. And you just know what you're paying for now. And the fact that it's cheaper than every other restaurant you're going to. Just means, like, the quality's got to be lower, officially. Like, it'll do in a pinch, especially if you're traveling and there's nowhere else because McDonald's is everywhere in space, whether I want to admit it or not. And it's just like, okay, I guess this will do, but, like, it's just going to feel Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm spoiled. Maybe that's just what that means. Whoa, that threw me with a lot of momentum. I'm glad I didn't just go into the abyss again. Whoa, speaking of that. It came back right on time. All right, move. Okay, no end. That's fine. Just put me in here. But, I like local things too. There's some really good local spots across with me here in the stars. And since I'm such a noted chicken man, within the last little bit in my neck of the space here, there's a local chicken place that has like dry rubs as their specialty, pretty much. And it's great. If we're going to now dive into the subject of chicken, from which I am quite experienced, I will say I've talked previously that I'm not a fan of messy pizza because of like all the manual labor you have to do to clean your fingers, right? So now it applies with me and sauce. I am the same exact level of picky about how much work my fingers are going to have to do to recover from any consumption of chicken. So now, like, you're just like, what about, the classic buffalo wing? It's in that nice, orange sauce. It's going to give you that, like, little bit of flavor to it and everything. I thought I was going to land that fish. That fish slapped me now. They do the slapping in this stream. But I was like, well, the moment I touch this buffalo wing, now my fingers are messy. And sure, they traditionally should provide you with moist towelettes and everything to wipe off your fingers. But like, the moment you're even doing that, like, you let go of your chicken, because I'm the guy who tends to swap between having his sips and his bites. So maybe you don't always want to spend the time to meticulously wipe off the sauce off your fingers before you grab your glug, get your cup, your little soda cup. And like, sure, you could be a monster, I guess, and grab that cup while you still have saucy fingers. But then what if you clean off your fingers now? And I know the wait for you this time, you son of a gun. So like, you go, all right, one time I'm going to go into temptation and just grab the cup while I'm saucing it up. But now, like, it's just like, you've left evidence on that cup. And heaven help you if you go to grab that with your clean fingers and you grab the spot you sauced because you didn't wipe it up. Because you're already a monster for grabbing a cup while saucy. So I'm not holding it above or below you that you could just leave it there and just not care. Because you're just like, it's just a little bit, right? It's not going to hurt. And you lift up your index finger after you grabbed it and you see it's orange again. And you're just like, oh. I can't believe I now have to unfold my crumpled up towelette that's like dry by this point. Very dry. And oh yes, right, Rocket Barrel stage. Whee! But you have your no longer moist towelette that you're like scavenging to try to clean up what little bit is left because you left a little sauce that you just got back on your hands. And it's like, wow, okay, cool. I am just messy. Are you going to bother the overworked, like, waiter or waitress to get you another one? No, probably not. I'm not. So it's just like, I can't do this. Everything is bad. Everything's saucy. I've made a mess. And that's not even getting into the part where, like, I like to have a little bit of time to eat. I'm not just going to snarf everything down immediately most of the time. So you let sauce sit around your chicken. I'm a guy who's a proud, like, appreciator of well-done breading and get, like, the crunch. Like, good breading is a talent in its own right when it comes to chicken, if I have to say that. But if you put sauce on there, what happens then? Everything just gets, like, moist. The crunch goes away, and you just start getting soggy chicken because you didn't eat it fast enough. And it's like, well, joke's on me if I decided I wanted sauce today, as I get hit by the bird. Every form of bird is out for me today. But yeah, joke's on me for trying to get sauce, because now I took too long. And like, since it's already wet, that just means it'll get cold a little faster probably, because that's just kind of how it works. It's catching more air, being all like moist and stuff. And it's just like, this ain't working out. Every part of this is not working out for me in the sauce. So much like with me and the storied banana discussion, if we're talking about me and my food habits, I ain't gonna do it on the sauce. The sauce is just, they knew. They knew how I was going to react. All right, down, up, down. I'm going to remember this. But yeah, it's just better if I don't do that. So you're going to now look at me and the fact that I've spent all this time denouncing sauce. And it's going to be like, Corshel, you know, dry rubs can be pretty messy too. But like, this is the thing. So you can control very much. So how much of that gets on your fingers when you grab? Because there's not really a lot of collateral damage. When something's moist, that thing's happy to spread around just to like get the moistness all over. But when it's dry, you're like, I see now where every bit of grit is when it comes to this like Parmesan garlic dry rub on my chicken. So I know exactly where to grab it. Or like, you know, when they just do like the shakes for it and everything, and maybe there's a side where it's not completely on. There's going to be a little less dry rub on some parts compared to others, and you capitalize on that. It's just like, cool, now I know where to go. And I'm going to bite in the part that's most of the dry rub, give me the flavor, I still have the crunch, and it's not getting cold faster. And since it's dry in my hands, that moist towelette doesn't have any splash. It won't smear. It'll pick up that dry rub right away. It's like the superior way. If you're going to give me any kind of sauce, which I still won't do because that's kind of how I am, make it a dunk. All right. If people are like, I want my chicken and I want like my ranch or my buffalo or my like barbecue, anything of that demeanor, and just be like, I just like to dunk it. And it's like, okay, sure, I get that. I'll let that one slide, I guess, where you'll just be like, it's crunchy until you're ready to put a little sauce and you eat it fast enough, because that's the impending bite right there, that you're going to have the crunch and the sauce. And it's like, okay, and you avoid the mess problem because you're grabbing the part where the sauce is not. You're specifically making one section saucy, and that's the part going right into your gib. And it's like, okay, fine. Like, yeah, I guess I get it. But if you're trying to tell me you want a wing completely soaked in it, I'll be like, no, we're not going to do that. That's not for me. I'm not crazy. Maybe, all right, that's going too far. I'm going to say you do you. Maybe you like the mess, internet. I honestly don't judge. You'll spend the time to get clean or you won't, and that's on you. I just know how I like it. Oh boy. I apologize that I'm once again playing Funky Kong and all we can think about is discussing food quirks at length. I cannot escape. The thing we got from sports to here, and they barely serve chicken, at least at baseball. Well, maybe that's changed now. I gotta hit that bell, or else I'm gonna fling myself mindlessly into the void as I'm chatting. I don't want to get hit, please. Thank you. That didn't stop them, though. Got it. If we're talking about other sports, though, I'm gonna tie it back. That's gonna be the theme on Super Bowl night. There are some sports that, like, I actively like, even as a kid. And one of those was soccer. I honestly really like soccer. I love using feet because it provided using less coordination than hands. And your legs are big and wide. There is, like, less margin for error when you're using your legs, right? You know, because you see that full thing. And it is a big surface area. You got the side of your foot for kicking the soccer ball, and you have like your entire thigh. So it's just like, this thing is big and wide. I can do this. I'm going to be able to get out there and hit that ball in some way. Although, you know, when you're little, you're like, why not just hit it with your feet? Forehead. And the instructors are like, kiddo, that's going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt anybody else. And even if it might take you a second to realize this, you will realize it. Please let me out of this, guy. It's my only way to move forward. Yeet. But yeah, it'd be like, soccer is good. And I think there's a lot of cool coordination. And like, I don't watch professional soccer really, but soccer adjacent things are great. if we had to talk about one of my favorite things, like the play in a game, one of them, we're going to give a shout out to Mario Strikers Charged on the Wii, because that game is fabulous. It is the perfect amount of insanity infused with soccer, where if they look at it and you're like, oh boy, if soccer is just a sport where there's rules to follow, rightfully so, for everybody to not just get like their legs messed up and not be able to walk again, to have them just be like, here's this contact sport version of Mario where everything goes insane, particularly on this Wii version, and you tackle everyone. Where's my platforms? I should have just waited. I'm sorry you got mulch, Funky. But you have this one, and recently there's been like more talk in the depths, talking about like what they put into that game, and that the animations in particular, they just kind of like put stuff in and like thought it would like not get out, right? If I'm remembering right, or not get out, not get in. So they're just like, yep, here's the famous Waluigi crotch chop. Nintendo's never going to allow this. And then like everything got in, and like this was perfect then for the growing up mind of Korshel, because then you get to see this. Woo! All right, I knew to wait a little. I'm gonna get there. Game's gonna give me another life. I'm not gonna pull those. Oh heck! They're getting sliced. But so you have this game, and it's got insane animations. You already like Wario and Waluigi the most as ya boys, and they've got some of the funniest stuff. Wario with this great entrance where you just have the song kicking in, and it's like wow, blah, 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 and you have Wario coming down where it's like nah, 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 and then just the crash on the ground where he craters straight into the dirt with that piano crash, and he's just like ugh! Like the first time I saw that, and you're like, man, this game's got style. What a great game. And then Wario's just the big funny man. He's got some of the best things. Like, of course he's Wario, so he's in everybody's face. And then like there's some, like the theme music was super good too with the slow parts. There's one where like it scores and it's a slow like pan around from his back to his front. So it just starts on his slow motion butt. You stinking toucan is kicking my butt. Speaking of butts. But that hurts everywhere. That guy's invincible. I have to throw things at him. But it starts at this slow, I'm just not going to make it 5 seconds into this level. Never mind. Thanks. So you get this pan around, and the music's all slow, and it slows down Wario's voice. So you just hear like, Wario. And he's like, wow, that's great. Or like he's doing the team throw and no one can lift him because he weighs a ton. So like you see these struggling Toads and Shy Guys, and their facial expressions are all just like, I know where this goes, man, and this doesn't go good. And then Wario drops and they're all just crushed. And he's just like whacking them where he's just like, keep throwing me. And it's so good. There's the one everyone knows, the losing one where he's just like, oh, I give up. And he just like lifts up a bomb and you're like, dude, this is just soccer. What are you doing? But as a kid, you're just like, haha, funny man does the funny thing and he's okay. So like you don't feel bad. He's recovered by the time it's the next like set. I just could not grab that. Shame on me. So you have that. And then there's Waluigi, where like I started as a Wario kid when I was small. But then somewhere along the way, I realized the greatness that is Waluigi. So you start playing as him instead. And he's got so much to him. And like, the mentioned crotch chop. But then everything else, when it comes to it, where it's just like he's so in everybody's face, like his own team and especially the other team. Please, I'm going to get this rope. Let me grab it. There we go. We got there finally. But like what I remember is like the Hammer Bros of the other team. They look so sad. And there's Waluigi literally dancing around them. Where he's just got like the ball and he's just celebrating with it. And he's like literally, you want the ball? You want the ball? And he just spikes it right in their face. And he's just like, wee! It's just like, my guy, this is savage. You have zero chill. You are ridiculous. And I know everybody's ridiculous in that game, but my God. What they did to the Wario brothers in particular did much to cement them in my heart forever. For better or worse. And I just love those two. It's so good. Like, Nintendo will never do that again. We've seen, like, Strikers, like Battle League, and it's fine. It's a game, and it does exist. I suppose. But there's just something about Striker's Charge that is just an amazing combination of everything I can't believe they got away with. Yeah, honestly, like, he was kind of there. He started getting a little bit, like, around the GameCube times. We know he debuted in Mario Tennis, right? And he's literally just, like, out to murder people. He's got the death stare that Luigi would later cop on. And it's just like he glares at everybody. They actually have him looking like mean. Like the way his eyes are done in that with like the eyeshadow and everything too is like actually kind of menacing. Woo! And then you get Mario Party 3. And they've softened the edges a little bit. Someone at HAL quickly looked at what Camelot did. And they're just like, I don't know if we can have that at 100% during our funny Mario Party game. I'm going to back up, actually. Whoop, the red snapper's snapping me. So they're just like, I don't know if we can really... Oh, what if I just stick low? Alright, now put me up. Sorry, Ed. But yeah, they understand. I probably should have gone down there. I think that was a bonus. But they're just like, we have to contain this menacing aura. Because we can't have this JoJo villain, like, throwing down with Mario and minigames. Like, that's a little extra. So now, they round him off a little bit. And then that's just it. The GameCube happens, shortly after. And you start seeing a little bit here or there. Camelot now, knowing that they can't have Waluigi pose as a serial killer when he's not in the courts, they have the very famous Power Tennis opening movie, which is very good. And they're just like, all right, so he's not out to murder Luigi anymore, but he is a great stooge to Wario. So it's just like... everyone's favorite line of "Take that, Mr. Eyeballs." And it's just like, all right, cool. They go through funny training machines where he's just getting like tabled out on the stretcher where he's like, wait. You start seeing a little bit of that. And like the party games do exist. Their general motif is just kind of like, well, he's here and he's with Wario and he doesn't like Luigi. And that's just the GameCube era of Waluigi. But then, we're talking about the Wii and thinking, maybe I should have just hovered, or maybe I shouldn't have gone for that. I don't even have all the letters. Now I'm back here. Look what I did. But yeah, like, I completely agree that Strikers did a lot where they're just like, Waluigi's no longer just a number 2. He's a number 1. And we're going to prove it by filling him up with all these over-the-top things. And I like it too, because even though Battle League is kind of mid, At least they give him some good moments. That strut with like the grin and the way he walks is genius. I love it so much. If anything, like getting to see, and then he starts rocking awesome fashion sense. So Camelot in their later games, also kind of mid. Sadly, all the sports games have kind of midified themselves as the years have gone by and budgets have shrank. But Camelot at least goes like, Waluigi? He's dapper as frick. So they just start being like, what if he has this awesome little visor and the incredibly underwhelming Mario Ultra Smash? And it's like, oh yeah, I like this. He's looking pretty sly. And then you get to Mario Golf Super Rush, and they're just like, check out this pinstripe ensemble. And it's like, oh my god, this is the best. I love everything about it. He's got the hat, he's got the looks, the white and purple. It's so good.
Yeah.